All right, family, come up on in here. I know it's a little early. I know it's a little bit early, but I need my family to come up on in here. We're about to have a very powerful and necessary discussion this morning. It's going to be brief. It's not going to be a very long discussion, but it's powerful and necessary. I see my family start to trickle in here. Shalom, Yalon, Yisrael, shalom to you, King. Dwayne Yosef, my brother from another mother, shalom to you as well. Crown Me 13, great supporter of mine. Shalom to you as well. Good to see y'all this morning. Give me a second, y'all, real quick. Yeah, 1 second. I'm hooking a few of y'all up right now. Y'all will see shortly. All right. Divine Prospect is in the building, man. If you free, man, you definitely should let me know, man. I'll send you the Hangout link. You can come on in and talk about this subject as well. I want to say peace and shalom to the family. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council, with another show for y'all today. And today I am honored and proud to have my comrade, you know what I'm saying? My comrade. I consider this brother to be a comrade and a warrior for the Most High, and a fierce, fierce defender of our scriptures, our customs, our mores, our folkways. He's a fierce defender of this word. I'm happy to have my brother back on Maccabees TV for the second time, my brother Mikael Ben Yisrael. Shalom to you, King. How you doing today, Lord?
Hey, shalom. Priest Daniela, man. Love you, brother. As usual, it's always a good thing when we hook up, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing for brothers to dwell together. And, you know, first and foremost, I give all praise and honor to the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? And his son, Jesus Christ, our high priest, our Mashiach. With that being said, you know, yeah, man, it's just, you know, we hook up when we got to, and usually when we hook up, see, they don't know from the old Hebrew War Machine days, man, we do damage. But I think some people didn't forget about that, got a little beside themselves. You know, it's a lot of arrogancy going on in these YouTube streets. And so, you know, just tell you, man, you shouldn't wake up a young lion. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to address some things, because the one reason I got on here, you know, because you got cats that's literally making a living off of being a parasite to the Hebrew Israelite community. Anybody that know about Hebrew Israelites, that know anything about us, you will know that, yeah, there's different demographics of us. There's different fractions of us. All of us do not express the exact same beliefs. The one thing we do have in common is that we are the holy people of the Bible by bloodline and history. And, you know, and it's people that would try to exploit that sometimes when they see the differences. But when you look over on their side, they don't do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But one thing you know about us is we care about our community wherever we at. You know, just for instance, just from where I come from, you know, out of Chicago, you know what I'm saying? The Israel of God itself, you know what I'm saying, has a plaza. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got to get a shout out to them, you know. And in there, they hiring our people. You got a restaurant, tax company, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? One of the sister camps from my big brother Elijah over in Gary, Indiana, they got the, really, as far as we know, the first Hebrew Israelite school over here in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, a real school, like a big public school, you know, a regular school. They bought a school that was abandoned, and it's a school. It's called the Israel School of Excellency. So if there's any Israelites out there in that Gary, Hammond area or something like that, or, you know, a little bit north of the border in Illinois, take your kids there if you don't want. You know, on Thanksgiving, they school's still open. Christmas, they school's still open. You see what I'm saying? They ain't thinking about that. And, you know, so with that being said, we got things that we doing. We don't wake up thinking about Comedics, thinking about Pan-Africans and all that. But for some reason, it's as if they would not exist if it wasn't for us. So they keep their mouth on us, right? And it don't bother me, because I've been in this over 20 years. So it's like you build up an immunity. But it's when you hire cats that want to literally tell people, leave that Bible alone, you know, leave that religion alone. And I think if we keep telling them we're nationality, they won't accept it. And, you know, it's different religious beliefs within that nationality. And so they'll keep telling you this, but then I go back to what I was saying 7, 8 years ago. I told this to Ankh from Armor Rock Squad. Shout out to you, Rob West. You know, I ain't got nothing against that brother. We ain't had us no little spars lately. Even though he was the first one said I was a crazy Hebrew with a perm, you know, just hating on the texture of my hair or something. I don't know. So now Sarnetta want to call me a broke Snoop Dogg, which is funny. This the thing I want to say. They get personal when their feelings get hurt, and it's usually due to information. You know, and these are the same people that say they banging on information. So this is really why I want to go into it. And I'm gonna say this one last thing, and I'm gonna let you go and set up whatever you want to ask me or whatever. But it's a cat out there named Garfield Reed. I've been knowing him online for quite some time now, for some years. And so, you know, the brother do what he do. He always claimed to bang on the Hebrews, bang on the Bible. One minute he say the Persians wrote the Bible. I think it's the Sumerians, the Babylonians. It'd probably be the Turks or the ancient Atlanteans wrote it next. But the whole thing is he has some type of obsession with Hebrew Israelites and with the Bible. And that's his thing. But what you find out with him is whenever you cut him, he gets personal. And he has a history of making personal attacks on brothers. He's talked about the captain's child. He's talked about the fact that y'all know I'm a writ open book. I'm still working on finishing my book from Vice Lord to Servant of the Lord. Well, I tell everything. I've been shot up multiple times. And the last time I got shot, I got put in a wheelchair. He likes to bring that up live and then clean it up and say, oh, but that's my brother. He does community work. Nah, man, ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just real snake tendencies that these cats got. And that's because they don't have the moral that we have, which is taught to us by the Torah or the Holy Bible, as you can say. So I just want to start off with that, bro. We can talk about whatever you want to because we ain't got too much time. 12 o'clock, I, you know, got a meeting. And I just want to say, if anybody want to jump on here, we done with that. This is my message to you Hebrew Israelites. Stop trying to defend the stop defending the Bible with your back against the wall against these cats constantly. We've been doing it forever. It actually defends itself if you know how to handle it. But stop putting them on the wall. What do they believe in? That's what I want to do. So if you want to jump on here, tell me what you believe in and prove it. Because you got cats out here doing Thanksgiving and everything else, but they swear they got some type of Western African culture. See what I'm saying? We real about this. Y'all phony about it, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in, man. Shoot, All
right, Khan. Well, I want to say first of all that we're fair over here, right? So you're supposed to hear both sides of the matter. So I invited Garfield to come on to defend himself, and of course he declined. You know,
I know.
They're more comfortable on their platforms where they could dictate everything. And like you said, put our backs against the walls and all that stuff like that. So, you know, it is what it is. He was definitely invited and he declined. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I don't hear no crying and nothing like that. But I know I will. And that's okay, too. It's no problem. All right. So let's just get right into it. And, you know, we'll probably
hold on.
Yeah,
on that note, bro. Just going with the spirit. On that note. I sent you that second clip I sent you. Just play the opening part. I'll tell you where to stop.
Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm trying something real quick. Because for some reason,
just play the opening part. I'll tell you where to stop.
Say something, Mikhail, real quick. Say something.
Shalom, shalom.
I'm trying something real quick. For some reason,
just play the opening part. I'll tell you where to stop. I might have to mute it. Shalom, shalom.
Okay. All right. So you want me to go ahead and play the clip, right?
Yeah. That second one. This the reason he won't come on here, and this the reason he's not even worthy to debate me. Let me get the people a little red carpet before you play this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this brother Garfield Reed, you know, from the so-called Dagger Squad, which I don't know who they've ever daggered. Matter of fact, who even owned the squad? I see a couple of sisters talking about credit repair and black cards and stuff like that, but I've never seen this squad. You know what I'm saying? It's like Santa Claus and the reindeers. But the funny thing about it is, you know, the brother always talking about debating and all that. This the reason I've been decided that he's not worthy to debate, because I was listening to his show about a month ago, and y'all can go find the receipt. where he literally said live on his show that years ago, Mikael, talking about myself, cut him live. Yeah, we had like a little mini debate. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have that file probably pulled up tomorrow. It was on Debate Talk for You, Sal Showtime. Shout out to that brother. All praise to the Most High. You doing better. Your health is doing good. Sal is a good brother in the community. He went through a thing. We prayed for him, and the Most High, you know, brought him up out of that condition, and he healed him. So all praise to the Most High on that. So yeah, you know, that's how spookism y'all call it, but it works for us. You know what I'm saying? While y'all out here rubbing rocks. But look, right. And so the brother, you know, the brother Garfield admitted that on that show live on Debate Talk for You, I asked him some Bible questions, since he's supposed to be a historian, that he couldn't answer. And he said, Mikael got me back then, but if he tried it today, he would get me. So he's been pissed off at me ever since then. Because by then, I've already came to the conclusion he's not worth debating. The people that they call their top scholars over there have all been cut before. I used to beat up on Ankh for fun. You see what I'm saying? But this ain't nothing against Ankh. I'm talking about this dark Teletubby right here. So go on, play this, and I'm going to show you exactly why he's not worthy to debate. This should have counseled him out from any debates ever in the future. Play it, Karen.
All right, now listen, y'all, family, I'm going to need y'all help. Okay, I'm going to need your help. Because lately I've been having, like I told y'all, I'm having some issues with this channel. For, you know, YouTube is messing with my channel. So lately when I've been trying to play videos for y'all been telling me that y'all can't hear it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to play this video to see if y'all could hear it. Also, what I'm noticing as we're going along, y'all could hear Brother Mikael, but y'all can't see him for some reason. So YouTube is definitely messing with this channel for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm going to go ahead and try to play this video. And y'all let me know if y'all could hear it. If you can hear the audio on the video, press 1. If you cannot hear the audio, press 2. If you can hear the audio, press 1. If you cannot hear the audio, press 2. Okay, here we go.
Qualification right there on the spot, and Jamar just busted out laughing. Audio, press 2. Here we go. Some information. That's not fair.
All right, family, can y'all hear that? I'm looking at the comment board. Before we go any further, I need to know if y'all could hear that.
I can hear it and see it.
Okay, so that's good. Well, one of my problems has been fixed. All praise to the Most High. All right. All right, so is there a time mark, or you want me to start from the beginning?
Y'all keep playing. Keep playing. I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay, here we go, family. Here we go.
I want y'all to look close. Watch Garfield's face when he... Now, this was Garfield in a debate, and he snuck off to the bathroom to ask for help, and he had a laptop. He got caught cheating. Now, I've never seen a Hebrew do this, ever in the history of televised debates. When this happened, he was the laughing stock. I said, oh, man, that brother should be banned from any debating, ever. That's never happened with me. Go ahead. Just watch his face, y'all. Look at him. He got caught. He got the dookie face. Just let it play. Let it play. Oh, my God.
Well, I think a little laughing from the grave.
You can stop it right there. So this is the type of cat that Sarnetta will say, or anybody from the House of Conscience will swear that he beats up on Hebrews or any other debate. I've never even really heard him have like a real official debate. He just talks and then he tell you about, you know, and it's the thing, I don't like the disingenuousness of those people over there. He'll say words like, you know, whatever your beliefs is, I don't care. You know, that's your beliefs. Keep it to yourself. Then he'll turn right around and say, well, you know, Abraham wasn't real. Isaac wasn't real. Jacob wasn't real. You know, the Bible is not really real. There's no real. So he'll, in one breath, say, if he respects your beliefs, then he'll turn around and poop on them. You don't see them do that with any other group of people. You see what I'm saying? They don't do that with the you know, 5%ers, anything of that type of nature. He only does that with the Hebrew Israelites. So it's clear that he's been hurt by one. I don't know if he's been beat up by one or something like that, but he has an agenda when he's not even worthy of it. And another thing I want to say, brother Daniel, concerning our brother Sarnetta, man, the only reason, just to give everybody a backdrop, what finally made me respond, the other night, Sarnetta did a show, and he had Polite on his show, which that right there, every time he does that, it irks me. He has Polite on his show, knowing the shady checkered past that he had. He even stole from him out his own mouth. So I would never let a man on my platform that stole from me. I don't know where Sa's from. You know what I'm saying? So he must have literally lost all self-respect. He's lost all dignity. He's desperate right now for one reason or another. And so he had him on there and he had Nature Boy on there. Now, in order for you to make a person like Polite look good, who's done all these criminalities in our community, allegedly, you have to put him next to somebody like Nature Boy, who is the walking epitome of evil. Somebody that's having sex with animals, kids, trees, rocks, dogs, and everything else. So you have to put him next to him to make Polite look good. That should tell him something is wrong. This is the same man that robbed him. So all I said in the chat was, man, bro, why do you get this dude even on here trying to be the moral compass for the dude Nature Boy? Both of them messed up. It's like choosing the less of two evils. He went in on me. You fake Snoop Dogg looking, why you were to call me a B and all that type of stuff. You know, just supposed to be one of our conscious elders, though. You see what I'm saying? Which I'm gonna let you ask me some questions, but
Mikhail, you there? Mikhail, unmute yourself. You muted.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard me say?
You said you was going to let me ask you some questions, and then you got cut off.
I was saying that I believe. Did you hear when I was talking about I was on in Sarnetta's chat?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what I believe is, for whatever reason, because like I said, I always liked the brother Sarnetta. You know what I'm saying? He got that kind of spirit. I hope he repent, you know what I'm saying, and turn to the Most High. But in the end of the day, I just said to the brother, like, why you got a lesser of two evils on here? He went in on me, called me a B, broke Snoop Dogg looking cat and all that type of stuff. And so my whole thing is, this cat Polite is so wicked that the stuff he even said about Sarnetta live just about 3 weeks ago, while Sarnetta was on the phone, bro, is enough that I'm trying to show Sa it's people that's actually out there trying to look out for you. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, play that first clip for me, man, and then we can go ahead and just flow. I want people to really see this because I don't know how many people paid this attention.
All right, let me pull it up. Let me share my screen for you, and then we can go ahead and play that on. Here we go. All right, so let's share my screen. 1 second, family. All right, so this is the video. We're starting off at about 3 minutes and 45 seconds. That's good?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Family, if you cannot hear it, let me know with a 2 in the comment section. But for now, y'all saying we good, so let's go.
And I want y'all to listen real close to what he says about Sarnetta.
All right, let's go.
Nah, I'm there. Oh, hold on real quick. I know, smack the clown, right? I'm here. Hold on real quick, Sal. So if any of you have Poppy's Facebook, his Instagram, his YouTube, send him a message and tell him Brother Polite is in New York, and I hear you want to smack me. It's on site. You want to kill me. I hear all of this. And it's just talk when you think a brother's not in New York. Now, it's okay if you want to fight brothers that's over 50 years old and challenge them to boxing. It's okay. You want to fight people who have autoimmune diseases. It's okay.
Stop right there. Stop. I want you to play that again. Did y'all hear what he just said? He said you want to fight people that's over 50 years old. He's on the phone with Sarnetta, so he's talking about Sarnetta because he said this about 3 times throughout the video. And he said he has autoimmune deficiency disease. Do y'all know what that is? That's AIDS. 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 I caught that quick. I went back to school like, hold on, and I'm like in my head, and then he said it again. Now I remember, and I'm gonna show you how wicked this is. And I'm not taking up for Sa, but he's lost all dignity. You see what I'm saying? So he can't do it for himself. So because evidently he owes somebody something, or he just need a bag or something. So he don't even care about being humiliated. None of my Hebrew brothers would do that to me, or they would not be around me no more. We have a moral code and a moral conduct, and it ain't about just checking no bag. And it's funny, I'm the broke Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? But I'm actually sitting over here next to my lit fireplace. All praise to the Most High. I ain't in no studio apartment. You see what I'm saying? So I want to show you something. Play that one more time, bro. I want y'all to hear this clear, and y'all tell me what that is.
I hear you want to smack me. It's on sight. You want to kill me. I hear all of this. And it's just talk when you think a brother's not in New York. Now, it's okay if you want to fight brothers that's over 50 years old and challenge them to boxing. It's okay. You want to fight people who have autoimmune diseases. It's okay. It's totally okay.
Sonetta on the phone. Pause it. Now, this the killer part. Sonetta was on the phone with him on speaker. He heard him say this more than once and didn't even interrupt him, which I remember clearly. What was that, last year, 2 years ago? But it was a while back. But Sonetta addressed that and said he did not have AIDS. So why would Polite turn around and say that in his face multiple times and Sonetta not even stop him? I don't know, because what I have noticed over the years is Sonetta is not like a scholastic guy. He's not a debater. He's more like the spirit of it. He's more like the father of it. That's not his skill. So I don't know if he don't know what that meant. You know, he's not that well like spoken or read. So I don't know if he didn't catch it, but anybody with some sense caught it. Now, how could this same brother be right back on your platform? He stole from you. Like we say in the streets, treated you like a biatch, right? Excuse my Hebrew. He stole from you for one. And then he knows how you feel about that you got AIDS thing. And he says it repeatedly in your face. And you bring him back on the show. Then you want to question us about our morale and tell people to leave their Bible alone. Well, I'll tell you this. If I find out in the end that this book been phony all this time, at least it made me a better person. Because whatever y'all trying to get us to replace the Bible with, it ain't working for y'all. Go ahead, Danyala.
Now, just to be fair, I'm looking at the comment section in the video. I don't know if you're looking at it too. And some of the people in the comment section are saying that the autoimmune illness that the brother has is lupus, not AIDS. Now, I don't know anything about any of this stuff, like as far as what the brother suffers from. I don't know. He never told me. I don't know. But this is what people are saying. So how would you respond to that when people are saying it's lupus and not HIV?
Well, I'm very much aware of lupus, but if you listen to it, he says it 2 or 3 times. And when he says it again, he says deficiency, and then he says disease. So if you look up the definition, one of them, the disease or the deficiency, one is AIDS and one could be lupus. He says both. He never just said lupus. He could have just said lupus. So that's my response to that. And I thought about that when he said it, because I went and looked it up. I'm like, because, you know, you remember it in school. And I'm like, man, and I've never heard him say that he had lupus. I know people with lupus. He literally said both deficiency and disease. He says both. All y'all got to go to show them the comment, show them the channel that's on.
All right. So all right. So I'm going to share my screen again.
Just to show them the channel, because I want them to go back and hear the whole thing. It's a 30-minute video, but when you go to that, you're going to see the whole one. That's an hour and 30 minutes with the whole Polite ride. Watch you hear him say both terms, deficiency and disease.
All right, so this is if y'all can see my screen, which y'all should be able to, this is the video, and it's on a channel called Indigenous Peoples Media Outlet. So y'all can check it out for yourself. And in the suggested videos on the side, there are other videos as well. So maybe one of the other ones is what our brother Mikhail is talking about. So we're going to leave that there. Like I said, you know, Sonetta's never spoken to me about anything like that. So I would never speak about that, you know what I'm saying, on air myself. But I understand why you're doing it.
Mind you, I'm only speaking on what Sai has addressed publicly himself. People made that claim against him. Right. Doctor said that, but it wasn't true. So I'm gonna roll with him on that. You see what I'm saying? I'm just wondering why Polite be throwing these sneak shots.
Yeah, that's a good question. So let's just get right into get right down into what we're here. The title of the video is the best tool for our liberation the Bible? Is it money? Is it atheism? Is it Kemet? We want to know what the best tool for our liberation is, because sometimes some of these debates that we have in the conscious community is frivolous and pretty much worth nothing. It doesn't really get us nowhere. Our people are in a destroyed state. Most I said our people are destroyed. So our people need liberation. So we need to know what the best tool is and take advantage of that tool. Now, we as Hebrew Israelites, we believe the Bible is the best tool for our liberation, obviously. What makes the Bible the best tool for our liberation, Brother Mikhail?
Well, first off, basically, we can keep it where we at right now. The scriptures we come with, as a matter of fact, I could say this real quick. This Psalms 111 and verse 10, it say, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endures forever. So one of the reasons that that this is important is because it can make the most simple person wise. And this is what we believe, and we've seen it. That's why you have Hebrew Israelites that's able to go toe-to-toe with people with PhDs. You see what I'm saying? In theology, seminary school, though they've never been there a day in their life. And that's because we have some type of code that he gave us that we live by and we stand by. And those laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments. You see what I'm saying? Now, within that, the chaos that you see going on in a so-called conscious community, you would not see that if they followed these. You see what I'm saying? Like I saw you on the show last night on Sarnetta Show. Like I said, I still watch them. I'm just not gonna support them in no type of way. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, that question keeps coming up. Now, within our scriptures, we got laws like, you know, stuff that you would think would be simple. You know, don't sleep with your neighbor's wife, of course. You know, usury. What's that? Usury. We can't commit usury. So we ain't gonna be over here taxing people. We ain't gonna be over here, you know what I'm saying, defrauding people. That's in the law. You can't commit fraud against people, which is what your boy Polite famous for. I was listening to the sister, I think her name is Aikisha Ali Shabazz, the lawyer sister. I was listening to her the other day, and just off, and of course this is allegedly, just off the calculation she came up with from the people she say sending her the receipts, it was, I counted damn near $100,000 worth of scams. It was a couple of $10,000 scams, a group of three, and this is from what she says, $3,500 scams, and that came to $100,000 scams. Now, if this enlightenment, because I remember I heard Sarnetta say, how could you go backwards, Danyala? He said, it started as a 5%, and now you back in the Bible, you went backwards. What's funny to me is, if y'all had these principles that was in the Bible, Polite wouldn't be around. That's one. And it's bigger than just Polite, because it's a lot of people scamming over there. That's the one thing I'm not going to go into about Garfield. But everybody picks that, but I don't have no proof of that. And see, our principles tell us don't accuse somebody of something if you don't have no receipts. You see what I'm saying? So I hear people say that. All I'm gonna say is he's pseudo, he's Susu. You see what I'm saying? And he basically is obsessed with Israelites. He got some type of vendetta, and we don't know what he believes in. So our scriptures is better for us as a community all the way around. It tell you how to treat your family. It tell you how to treat your you know, your wife, your kids, your husband. It tell you how to treat your in-laws. It tell you sexual morale laws. It tell you fair judgment laws. It tell you how to deal with people in finances. It teaches agriculture. It teaches all of these things. There is no other book comprised that have all these together like that. Fine.
So brother Mikhail, let me put you on the hot seat now.
Go ahead.
Now, right? Let me talk to you about some of the talking points that they have against the Bible. When you look at our community, right? And Chicago is a perfect example of what's going on with our people, because everything I'm going to mention to you is going on in Chicago. We're the last hired. We're the first fired. We're number one in just about every daggone fatal disease known to man. Heart attacks, high blood pressure, you name it, everything. Cancer, everything. You know what I'm saying? We're living in some of the worst neighborhoods in our community. Our communities are drug infested. Our families are broken. Men fight against women. Women fight against men. Half of our, not more than half of our boys are either practicing homosexuals or have effeminate spirits.
Right.
You know, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Black people are under a lot of curses. And so what they're saying is that if God loves us as a people, as much as he says, why is it that our people are under all these curses? What type of God would put his chosen people under all these curses while you have these other nations around us prospering? How would you respond to that?
Okay. Well, that's quite simple. They're going to get tired of this one. But you know what I'm going to say. And I mean, I don't have to be so generic with it, but all you got to do is read Deuteronomy chapter 28, which they hate so much. But they've tried to make a career at destroying. I've seen so many groups try to destroy Deuteronomy 28th chapter. But he literally says in the first verse, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, and if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So he just told us we would be on top. We would be none of those things that you just mentioned, right? He told us that, right? So let's just skip on over to verse 15. Let's see the cons of that. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, which is what you mentioned, so this should answer their question, shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, cursed shall thou be in the field. It's quite that simple. We believe it. Now, let me ask now, where's your pyramid text? Where's any type of Kemetic text? Where's your West African? And it's over 365 million people in West Africa, just to let y'all know. Do y'all know how many different cultural beliefs and traditions is within those demographics? That's almost the size of the United States by itself, right? So which one of these texts completely says what I just said? It told us if our forefathers would have did this, this what would have happened. But if our forefathers went otherwise, this what would have happened. Until you can match that with another document that says we were going to go into slavery, why we went into slavery, and what's going to get us out of slavery, then shut the hell up. It's quite that simple. It's not even that complicated to us.
Okay. So basically, what I want to ask you next is about the financial part, right? Because there's this thing now going on. There was a brother on his channel the other day. He has a phrase that goes something like this: God is good, but money is better. And basically, the premise that they're pushing is that right now, Black people need money. We're behind economically. We need to provide our people with jobs and finances and things of that nature. And that's what we need to be focusing on, and not focusing on the commandments. Now, to me, that's ass backwards, because how can you give Black people money when Black people don't have the education to know what to do with the money? Black people don't have financial literacy. And in many ways, we're not educated as a people, period. So you're going to give people the money. You might as well just throw that damn thing in the damn fire somewhere. Just throw it in the goddamn chimney, in a fire someplace, and let it burn, because that's exactly what you're going to do. But when it comes to finances, why is money and finances not the key to our liberation? Why is economics not the key to our liberation? Why is it the Bible?
Oh boy, this is so simple. And again, in that exact same chapter, verse 43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So that literally just told us that all these foreign nations that's around us will be financially stronger than us. They'll be able to lend to us, like own banks and all that type of stuff, credit places and all that. But overall, we will not have that. We have a bank here, a little something there, but overall, we won't have it. Now, the funny thing about the questions that they like to ask us, addressing what you just said, is what was one of the first things I mentioned that we have? A school. And like you said, people don't have financial literacy in our communities. So instead of saying, man, it's all about the money, I need the money. Well, those that have the money, why don't they build more schools? Why don't they build more systems to teach us how to be economically responsible? You see what I'm saying? We know our scriptures is clear on that. And matter of fact, one of the other verses tell us, for the love of money, because I want to clear that up. You know, people always quoting that saying the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, Daniela, it don't say that. It say for the love of money, love of it, meaning that it's become a deity, which is exactly what these brothers is saying. They saying money is my religion. Money is everything. So they're doing exactly what he's saying, for the love of money. When somebody love money more than anything else, do y'all know he's willing to do anything for it? He's willing to kill for it. He's willing to steal for it. He's willing to, a woman is willing to prostitute her body for it. A woman is willing to strip for it. I mean, when that is your number one principle, I don't want nobody on my team that say money is their religion. I don't want nobody on my team that say that their God is money. You know why? Because they would do anything for money. That mean they will sell you out for money. Literally. I'm from the streets. Y'all know that. And when I was in that lifestyle, we actually violated brothers, man, for putting money over their brothers in the nation. But it was cats that did it. And what you find out is a lot of them cats either didn't last too long, or they sold people out. They winded up being snitches because they cared more about their money than honor. You see what I'm saying? Or they wind up setting people up to get them robbed because they envious of what you have, and they'll go by any means to get it because they don't have a moral code like we get in this Bible. So these easy questions to me, man. Our book has proven if you follow it, we will be straight economically. You see what I'm saying?
Well, if I can just chime in real quick, because I see my brother Andre Boyce in the comment section. He made a comment. He said the lack of money is what's causing evil in our communities. And I could say to a certain extent, you're right, but you're still not 100% on it. And I'm going to tell you why. The lack of knowledge and unity amongst our people, which the scriptures teaches us, the first and foremost principle of the Bible is the Most High gives us that supreme wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how to serve him and how to deal with each other, right? And the lack of unity and love for each other is what caused us to want to be integrated with the so-called white man. In the 50s, in the 60s, we marched and sat in for that thing. And once we got it, all the businesses in our community disappeared. Now, a dollar doesn't stay in the black community no time. The minute you get your paycheck, the next day you're broke. And who did you spend your money with? You spent your money with the other nations. Money doesn't circulate in the black community. That's the problem. And the reason why money doesn't circulate in the black community, it doesn't stay in the black community, why we don't have money in the black community, is because we don't have no knowledge. That's the problem. That's the problem. You want to chime in on that, Mikhail?
I ain't gonna lie, you took the show over on that one. I was about to try to say exactly what you just said, but you said it a little bit better. And that's the truth. I mean, like you just said, and look, it all goes back to having a moral code, bro. Now look, if we teaching from our scriptures that everybody gets their fair share for their work, right? You know, we got all that in the Torah. Tells you how to divide money amongst each other equally. You know, it say that what is it? Unbalanced bag, you know what I'm saying, is bogus, right? Mm-hmm. It literally goes against defrauding people and cheating people their money. So that puts a moral compass on even economics. You feel me? So that starts from the beginning. And that teaches you to look out for each other. Prime example, let me say this. Mm-hmm. I know what's gonna come up next. You know, they like to say, like when you brought up Chicago with the high murder rates and all that, right? They'll say, like Garfield will say, well, look at all the people, all the Christians in our communities. I haven't done anything for us, you know, the people killing each other and all that type of stuff, right? But that's an unfair comparison. Because, and this is not to poop on a church, because they've done a lot for us. Matter of fact, they've done more for us than any black atheist group has ever done. Just go look up all faith-based or Abrahamic faith-based charity groups that help the urban community or the black community. You ain't gonna see one. If you find one, I'll sell you a planet, but you definitely won't find 2 or 3 black atheist organizations. So look, right? Most modern day Christian denominations don't teach from the Torah. They don't teach the laws like that. They basically focus on the New Testament. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the New Testament. We need that as well. But if you don't understand the Old Testament, you can't accurately utilize the New Testament. So that's not a fair judgment, because they'll tell you quick, the law is done away with. Well, within those laws, like I said, we got agriculture laws, economic laws, and all of those type of things. So you can't use that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's a religion. That's not the Bible.
Right. Absolutely. So a few people are asking me, can they come in? But I know you don't have long, so you have like another hour. So I don't really, one of the brothers, his name is, Andre Boyce. He wants to come in and kind of chop it up with you on some of the stuff. I don't know if you want to talk to anybody. If you do, I'll send him the link for the hangout. But if not, we'll just continue. Mikhail, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, look, like I told you, and I stick to this, y'all. Everybody know how I get down, man. Like I said, if Garfield, you gave him a fair chance, I know you told him yesterday. So I don't want to hear him go back on his show saying stuff about me like a coward when I was right here live. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna show you why these cats don't want to stand toe to toe or sit butt to butt. Because you know he like to make, you know, crack little personal jokes. You know what I'm saying? But he can't deal with me intellectually or as a man. You feel me? And a lot of those cats over there like that. So don't wait until 11:51 when y'all know I got to leave at 12 talking about, oh, I'm going to get on there, but Mikhail ran. No, dudes. You got time to get on here. But I'm letting you know, and anybody else that want to get on here, if you get on here, you're not getting on here to question me about the Bible. What you're going to do is you get on here and tell me a better already formatted blueprint system that's better than the Bible. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about, because I'm tired of y'all talking about the Bible. Show us something better, man. That's what we've been saying. Until then, shut the hell up. So if you want to do that, show me something that's comprised, not bits and pieces taken from everywhere. That's going to take another 15 years to put together. Show me something that's already together that can hit every level. Economics, morale, because we do need morale. Because if we did not need, because you know they like to say this too, Don. So he can get on if he understand what I just said. If he getting on here to debate the Bible, which we beat them up on that all the time, then you wasting my time. So look at this right here. All can come together with a book. I thought it was the Maximus of Ptah-hotep, but I had to show Jabari that was more chauvinistic than the scriptures will ever be. But that's another story. Y'all can check that out on my Hebrews in the Hood channel when we busted him up on that. Funny thing about it is he might be the most honest one over there, so I ain't gonna even get down on Jabari. Now watch this, right? Show us a already comprised book or literature that has the moral laws, the economic laws, the educational laws, so on, and health also, and health that deals with health. Show me that, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. So if he want to come on, he can come on. But if he getting on here to try to debate the Bible, you know, that's going to be a waste of time.
Okay, so Andre Boyce, I'm about to send you the hangout link. All right. So you heard what the brother said. So he's the guest of honor. So we're going to respect him. We're going to respect him and his wishes. If you come on here, it's going to be a respectful conversation and a respectful dialogue. All right. In the meantime, Mikhail, just go ahead. While I'm sending him this email, you can just go ahead and continue and talk.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, and like I said, man, to get back on subject, the brother Garfield said things about, and I know my brother Yak, he ain't tripping off of it, but he said something about the brother Child. I think he said something about Q Butter. He said something about me getting shot up and put in a chair. And like, why do that come up when we're literally talking about history? We're talking about, you know what I'm saying, a scholarship type stuff. This is how emotional these dudes are. You see what I'm saying? And then what's funny to me is somebody like even our beloved brother Sinetta. That's why I say the brother tripping, man, and ain't nobody over there trying to protect him. because he'll ask, like, he'll see his differences with the Hebrew Israelites belief system, right? Like, say he'll say to me or somebody, well, do you believe the white man is the devil? I might respond, it's black devils and white devils. He might ask Diana. Diana might say emphatically the devil, right? He'll say, see, look, you two don't exactly believe the same. But you never hear them constantly ask Garfield is white man the devil. They don't constantly ask Polite is the white man the devil, because they know what the answer gonna be. Polite love hanging out with Jewish dudes. You see what I'm saying? And Garfield, they don't even touch that subject. Garfield always say, oh, I'm not on the racist type thing. So why they don't grill them about that, but they try to find division in the Hebrew Israelites? They're all hypocrisy, man. They're all hypocrisy. And another thing I want to show, let me see. Oh, I had wrote this one down. This was something that caught me the other day. It says, let me see. Okay, here we go, right here. Sinetta has said something to you yesterday when you was on the show, right? He was talking about your spooky God and all that type of stuff, and how no mystery God ain't ever did nothing. Now, they always bring this up. But do y'all realize these the same cats that'll turn right around in the same breath and say, well, they got it from the ancestors, or they spoke to the ancestors, or they call on the ancestors?
Jesus Christ, bro, I got it. Yo, you on it. You are on it 100%. Yo, I've been saying this for the longest. That's the spirit. Because when they say their ancestors, I'm gonna be like, where's the realm of the ancestors at? They always talk about the ancestors. Well, where's this? Because that's pseudo, that's spooky. If you can't prove what the realm of the ancestors is, you're always talking about, then you just as spooky as you say I am. And they don't even realize that. But I was kind of holding that ammunition though. But you already brought it out.
Bro, I'm sorry, like you said, it's the same spirit, because I didn't even know you was gonna go there. But yeah, let's make a comparison. We already telling y'all the being that we believe in, or the deity that we talking to, is a spiritual entity. It's a celestial being, or he's a celestial being, right? So it's up to you to believe that or not. But you can't criticize me for that and then tell me you talking to somebody that's dead. Like, they literally, their corpse has rotted away and they're in the ground. Then my next question is, if you speaking to your ancestors, Garfield or Polite or anybody, even Jabari, if you speaking to your ancestors, I got a question for you. What language are you speaking to them in? Because I don't think none of them spoke English. When they was in West Africa before we came over here, how many of them spoke English? Or is you speaking click to them or something like that, or one of the indigenous languages over there? Huh? Or do you got a translator? Like, when you speaking to them, do you have like a spiritual translator, like another dead person that was bilingual, you know, doing? So you don't call that spooky if that ain't spooky. Like that literally would be equivalent to me going to the grave right now, where my father is, and just look down at the ground and start talking to him and expect it to respond. So, you know, they real, hypocritical with that type of stuff. And then it was something else he said to you. I think he said, because I had wrote this one down when he said it. He said, oh, yeah. I ain't gonna say that one. This is the white man focus on the Bible. Oh, yeah, he said, you know how you know the white man knows that the Bible is BS? He said because he gave it to us and it's free, it's everywhere, basically. Do you know how stupid that logic is? That's like saying a gun is not lethal or a gun is not effective because they got gun companies and it's guns everywhere. That makes absolutely no sense. It's the same book that they turn around and say they oppressed us with. So how can you oppress somebody with an object that has no power? It's a retarded logic that they have over there, to the point where I don't even think they think before they make some of these statements. And then the last thing was he said, oh yeah, you know, and then they talking about, he asked somebody how far back does the Bible go and all this type of stuff. Man, come on, man. They ain't asked Polite how far back his hairline go though. No, I ain't gonna even go there though. But go ahead.
It's the same circular reasoning that they deal with. It's just called circular reasoning. It's the same questions that they ask over and over again. And they ask it to people until they get somebody that says something that they feel like they could take advantage of, and then they just start, doing what they do. But sometimes you just have to deal with them with logic. You know what I'm saying? And let me just make sure, brother Andre, I sent you the link again. So I'm kind of like, while I'm talking to you, I'm kind of looking in the chat to make sure that you actually got it. But just to expound on what you said earlier, because you and I were talking about it before we came on live. When somebody says, this goes for everybody in Israel in general, or anybody that's a faith-based believer, you believe in the scriptures, this goes for you. When somebody tells you that you should put the Bible down and pick up your traditions, your original so-called African spiritual traditions, right? You be like, okay, that's fine. But here's what the book that I've been dealing with, you're telling me to put down. The book that I'm dealing with says that if I kill somebody, I got to be killed. If I commit adultery and take my brother's wife, I have to be killed. If I steal from somebody, I have to restore what I took from somebody. And sometimes you have to restore double to somebody what you took from them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have laws, and we also have judgments for breaking the laws. Now, I'm constantly hearing from these so-called African spiritual systems that they also have laws and commandments. So as Brother Mikhail brought out, if you're going to tell me I'm going to join a West African spiritual system, I would like to see a codified, which means set in order, in an orderly fashion, a codified set of laws written down that says this is what you do, this is what you don't do. If you do this, this is the punishment for doing that. I want to see that. I have yet to see that from any of these guys. I'm not talking about no oral tradition. I'm talking about a codified set of laws that's written down that everybody in that society must follow. Same thing goes for Egypt. Every time that you ask them about the law, where are the laws in Egypt, they tell you, well, you can find some in the pyramid text. You can find some in the coffin text. You can find some in the book of Going Forth by Day. You can find some in the book you just said, man. The Maxims of Ptahhotep. You can find it all over the place. Well, first of all, that's chaos. That's chaos because that means it's not codified. It's not set in order. Secondly, the everyday average Egyptian didn't have access to those damn books. So how was they supposed to know what laws to keep and what laws? That's confusion. It's a bunch of nonsense. So if you're going to tell me to leave my Bible, you need to bring me something that is superior to it. And then you have a point. But these guys have yet to provide that. We've been asking them for years. Where's the laws? Oh, I know, the 42 laws of Ma'at. Let's talk about that. That's a misnomer. A lot of y'all brothers and sisters in Israel, the laws of Ma'at are a misnomer. Those are not laws. Why do I say they're not laws? Because those are said after you die. Those are what you call declarations of innocence. That's what you're doing. You're standing before the so-called gods of Egypt after you died and declaring yourself innocent of doing all those things. Those are not laws. That's a cop-out. I want to see the laws in Kemet. That's what I'm waiting for. And we've yet to see those. You want to chime in, Brother Mikhail?
Yeah, man, you just took it to the next level with me right there, because that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like they want us to leave a structure to go into chaos.
Hey, Ebony Knowledge, you said shaking your head. Okay, fine. So what are you shaking your head about? What did I say that was wrong? Correct your brother. What did I say that was wrong? I say that there's no codified set of laws in Egypt that I've seen yet. If I'm wrong, if they exist, all I'm asking you to do is tell me where they are. I want to see it. I want to see what the punishment was for killing your brother in Egypt. What was the punishment for that? What was the punishment for stealing in Egypt? What was the punishment for that? What was the law? What was the punishment for that? I want to see that.
Right. And as a matter of fact, like we've been saying forever, if they use the Mayat thing, like for example, where say I have not, been with a man or laid with a man, right? I always said, well, is that a man speaking or a woman? But if it's a man speaking, what is the law if he does sleep with a man? You never see that. Like, you don't see the penalty. Like with ours, it's cut and clear.
listening to what's being said. We're not saying that ancient civilizations in the East didn't have laws. That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. Every culture had laws. The difference is our laws are codified, meaning they're in order, and everybody had access to it. That's number one. And number two, there were penalties for breaking those commandments. Now, I keep hearing, and I'm gonna give it right back to you, Mikhail. I keep hearing about all these laws amongst the West African traditions. I believe that they exist. I keep hearing about all these laws that were in ancient Kemet. To a certain degree, I believe they exist. The problem for y'all is y'all can't produce them. You can't produce them. Now, you said to me, Ebony Knowledge, how can you not see the correlation with the laws of Ma'at and the law? First of all, because Ma'at is not laws. When is Ma'at? When are you making these confessions? You're making them after you die. I'm going to assume, Ebony Knowledge, that you're a knowledgeable person. You have the word knowledge in your name. Those are not laws because they're said after you die. Laws is something that govern you while you're alive. And by the way, one last thing, I'm gonna give it back to Mikhail as well. This is another thing that goes on in the conscious community that we have to debunk this crap too. Parallels are not proof of plagiarism. Let me say that again. Parallels are not proof of plagiarism. Just because you see something similar in Ma'at, in the confessions of Ma'at, that you might also see in the Torah, doesn't mean that the Torah came from Ma'at. That's nonsense. Because there's a certain code of ethics that all nations had. There's certain things that every nation has. There's certain things that's universal wisdom and common sense. We all know this. What we're asking for them laws. We want to know your agricultural laws in Kemet. We want to know your marital laws in Kemet. We want to know your your purification laws in Kemet. We want to know your laws for stealing. We want to know what was considered a sex crime. What were your laws on that in ancient Kemet? Etc., etc. What were your laws on adultery? What was your laws on pedophilia? What were your laws? And what was the penalties for breaking the laws? Those things are not present in the negative confessions or the declarations of innocence. I'm sorry if it bothers you. You put shaking your head, but you're not providing me with an answer. Go ahead, Brother Mikhail.
Yeah, that's basically the bottom line of it. Like, you know, with laws, you have penalties. Like, you know what I'm saying? With those laws, like every law you see set up on a book now, they let you know that what the penalty is if you break that law. I don't see that in Kemet anywhere.
No.
As it refers to her comparing it to the scriptures. I don't see that. And I like to just make a statement too about earlier. When I said, when you look at the long version of the video, that's an hour and 30 minutes, the one I was speaking about earlier with Polite. The other term I believe I heard him say was acquired immune deficiency syndrome. That's AIDS. Because I remember he said two different versions because he said it like 3 or 4 times. So I just want to put that clarity in there when y'all go check it. Now, back to what you was just saying, I don't see, you know, they keep bringing this up, like the Maximus Ptah-hotep. And then if you look at Ma'at and all that, just produce the penalties for making these transgressions against the laws of Ma'at.
That's all we want. That's all we want.
And we'll shut up about it. We'll say, okay, they got some similarities. And then once y'all do that, like you said, bro, that needs to be the standard for the Kemetic community.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's the standard of the Israelite community. I don't care what portion of the Israelite community you go to. You know you're going to see brothers with beards that don't eat pork, that know not to cheat, take another brother's wife. They know not to steal from each other. They know not to lie on each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but normally when it happens, it's a penalty for it. You see what I'm saying?
So now let me just say this, and I'm going to bring the brother in because I see the brother Andre is here. Let me say this, man, just to back up what Mikhail said. And this is not to bash everybody. We just having real talk here. You know what I'm saying? When y'all have y'all real talk bash the Bible, we got to put up with it. So we're having real talk right here. You know how I know that there's not really any laws that a lot of you brothers and sisters that follow Kemetic science follow? You know how I know that? Because every time I go to your events, I see lesbians there. Not only do I see lesbians there, nobody corrects them and tells them that their lifestyle is wrong.
I was just about to go there.
I see homosexuals there. Nobody's correcting them and telling them that spirit is wrong. If you will never listen good to what I'm saying, I'm going to pass it over to the brother that just came on. Listen good to what I'm saying. You will never in life, ever in life, go to a Hebrew Israelite event, I don't care what camp it is,
Never.
and see lesbians walking around freely and comfortable without somebody saying something. You'll never see that. You'll never see homosexuals walking around any Hebrew Israelite. I don't give a damn what camp it is. That I can say for sure.
Hey, and before the brother speak, I hate to cut your knowledge, man, but to land back off what you said, right? As a matter of fact, you know, you see the homosexuals, you see the lesbians, but if you address it, a cat like Garfield will say, "Oh, you're a badiologist." So meaning just the fact that you address it, he throws you into a homophobia or an undercover gay. But if I address a murderer or if I address a child molester, I'm not a child molesterologist. I'm not a murderologist. But if I address the homosexual, I'm a badiologist, right? I'm obsessed with it. And I'm going to tell you, that's their protective sodomite spirit they get. They like to protect sodomites. You know why? Because money is their God, Daniela. And you know one things about homosexuals throughout history.
Go ahead. That's it.
This is what got the tribe of Benjamin in trouble. Because they had sodomites in their territory, in their states, and they refused to kick them out. You know why? Because with homosexuals, they bring money. You rarely ever see a gay homosexual or a broke homosexual or a broke lesbian. You rarely find it. They bring money. So that's one reason they won't address homosexuals, because a lot of those hoteppers is around there with their hand bent and they supporting them. Come on, I'm not trading the Bible for that loose mess.
Man, oh man. Listen, family, this is what I need for y'all to do, man. If y'all enjoying the conversation, no matter what side you're on, please hit the like button on this video. Like button brings in people from all over, lets them know that we live. They can come and join the conversation. My brother Mikael has about 35 minutes left. It's 12:25 right now. In my time, it's 11:25 his time. He has to be off 12 o'clock his time. It's in 35 minutes. So with that being said, I have another guest that asked me to come on to the live stream. So I brought the brother in. This is my first time actually communicating with the brother. The brother's name is Andre Boyce. So brother Andre, you can introduce yourself to the people, and then we can take it from there, King.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
All right. So first of all, to you, Daniela and Mikael, I just want to say I'm humbled to be on your platform. And I'm definitely not gonna argue the Bible, because I feel it's a belief system like most of these books. But I will say this: I just want to say humbly, thank you for even allowing me into the conversation. And I'm almost honored that Daniela caught up on my slogan, which is God is good and money is better. Now let's get to
that's you?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was you. Wow.
That's me. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Listen, I respect everyone's belief system. I was once a person who was in a belief system or a faith system. As you heard me say on Sonetta's channel, I don't care what your God is, but I understand what's going on, not just in this country, but around the world, because I've been blessed to see it. You understand where I'm coming from? And I've been blessed to experience it. And we are now almost a permanent underclass. We're about to go in the form of the dodo bird, bro. It's the same reason why my brother Mikael is in a beautiful city of Chicago, where you could turn one corner and you look like you in Shady Oaks, and then you could turn another corner and you look like you in Afghanistan, right? It's what's going on is that now. Listen, like you were saying lack of financial education, right? That's true, but it takes a group of us to illuminate what's really going on in order to educate us to be financially sound. You understand? For example, if I tell Black people all the time, if you're going to go to Christian church and if you're going to pay 10% of your weekly earnings and you're going to give an offering, you're supposed to demand of your pastor that once a month, out of those offers, that we take that group money and open up a hair salon, a chicken. I don't care what you open. But listen what happens. If your congregation consists of 1,000 members, and if 1,000 members was to give $20, right? That means now you open up one business per month without being in bank debt, without having to go to someone, without having to rely on someone. And I understand the first five I'm respecting your channel. The first 5 books of Moses, right? I understand it's a lot about dietary. It's a lot about brotherly relationships, laws and rules and all that. I get it. I'm not even disputing that. But what we don't understand is that, okay, faith aside, whoever Yahweh or whatever your God, I'm not saying Yah, but you understand what I'm saying, in the whole canon of religion or faith-based, practices. Right now, none of these people are coming to save us. Maybe I'm not, like I said, I'm not banging on the Bible right now. I'm giving you my side of the story. Maybe the skies might crack and maybe somebody might come to save us. But for right now, what's going on is that we are being extinct just by laws, by the government laws, by our lack of financial. We don't even have an opportunity. Like most new job hires is 80% due to nepotism, right? Then you got to look at the fact that most of these countries have something that I will give y'all one olive branch of the brotherhood things. Like, for example, like in New York City, as you from New York City, as I'm from New York City, down your island, when you walk into Duane Reade, who owns it? The Indian people, the East Indian, right? You know why? Because when one comes over, they get a Duane Reade for 5 years, then they accumulate that money and hand it over to their next family member to come over from, and that's what they do. So they understand the practices and the power of wealth and what we call wealth transfers and money. I don't mind anyone having their religion. I left religion in 2013, and I know y'all say the Hebrew Israelite faith is not a religion; it's a way of life. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not banging on the Bible. But what I will say is this: the lack of it is what's causing all of this disparity, separation, and just hopelessness that drives people to all these religions, and it drives people to all these practices, because when you don't have no hope, you have to cling on to something that gives you a silver lining in your cloud, and just look at what's going on. The middle black home, the median black home is only worth $1,700 to the median white home that's worth $125,000. To be in the top 5% of black homes liquid, you only need $325,000 compared to the top 10. There's over 20 million white homes with over $10 million. We're broke. You understand where I'm coming from? So, okay, my thing is, like, I don't mess with ISUP. I'm not a Hebrew. But when Tazaria was like, yo, we gonna feed black people, I want to be the first ones to donate to that, to feed them. You know what I'm saying? But what it takes to feed them? Money. You understand? So no matter in this industrialized country that we live in, or if you go to Europe, or if you go to Asia, money is the deodorant to all this stink. Now, like I say, what you do behind your closed doors and what you do behind your temples and whatever you do is beautiful. I have no problem with that. If it's brotherhood, I'm all about brotherhood. Am I pro-Kemet? No. Am I pro-Hebrew? No. I'm pro us getting together and getting some money and resources and building back up our communities. And that's period. You know what I'm saying? But I'll let y'all respond to
that. Yeah, brother. And you know what? I don't have anything against what you said. As a matter of fact, I agree with a lot of it. And I'm glad you clarified that you respect the fact that we're saying Hebrew Israelite is a nationality and not a religion.
Yeah,
and
I gotta respect that. Not to cut you off, but yeah, listen, I'm not here to.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
It's cool, bro. Just let me.
I'm just giving clarity. I feel you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, just to respond to what you said to further prove what I'm saying. It's a different when you just have religious laws and when you have a code of conduct, or you have a what you would call a constitution. And is what the nation of Israel had. If you look at Exodus, the 22nd chapter, 25th verse, now if we just applied this to our community today, it would be so good. It say, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shall thou make usury of him. You see what I'm saying? So simple as that. Let you know that's not even a religious principle.
Correct.
That is a societal principle.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? And so my one question I did, and I do agree with damn near everything you said, brother Andre, but I do want to ask you. So
go ahead.
You did say something about with the religion, you believe that's the problem of the division. And, I hear that a lot.
Fact.
So let me ask you, when we were in ancient times, let's say on the continent in Africa, I would like to know which came first, because there's always been division over there. There's always tribal wars. Which came first, the The division or the religion?
I mean, I think man is naturally tribal, correct? I think we naturally bind to what interests us more. Like, for example, I'm a fashion designer, right?
Right.
So I'm naturally gonna go and hang out in Hong Kong and in Tokyo with other fashion designers that when we do our trend shopping. I'm not I'm also like the first thing I said to Daniela when I jumped on y'all chat, I'm a gym rat. Like he's a gym rat. I said, yo, let's work out. You know what I'm saying? We're tribal people. I think that look, if you threw me in the middle of Iraq, let's say I knew every precept, every law, statute, commandment, everything that Yahweh Shah said, everything that all your prophets said. If you threw me in Iraq, they'll still believe in Allah. Period. Right? Because what is Iraq an acronym for? The Islamic Republic, Allah Qadim. I forgot what the Q is. You dig what I'm saying? It's the name of the country is the Islamic Republic. You feel me? But guess what runs that country? Oil and OPEC and money. That's all I'm saying. So no matter where you go, a dollar still spins, a euro still spins. Everyone is going to have their different forms and ideologies of God. But what's going on right now is we're in dire straits. The Obama administration set us back to the Gilded Age, brother. We've owned less homes now than we owned during the robber barons. Under his administration, we only got 0.1% SBA loans. Under the Bush administration, we got 5%. What I'm saying is that what happened was we drank, not y'all, because I know a lot of, I've been following all of y'all for a while, right? That's how I even got cool with Sinetta. I know what the Hebrew Israelites mantra is, and I know a lot of that stuff, and I study it. That's why I'm not even going to argue the Bible, because why? At the end of the day, when we get off this chat, y'all going to believe in it, and I have no problem with that. How we going to get some money to feed our kids, to take our, and when Daniel Allah saw me, he saw me further expound on Skid Row, because really Polite and them didn't really like go into it. Like by me being bi-coastal and also being in LA all the time, I know the dynamics of that shit, right? And I explained to even Sinette, I said, this is why you can't feed them openly no more, because of what happened in Dwayne Reed in New York City when they used to give people the food, and then the guy got sick and he actually sued Dwayne Reed. So that's why if you walk up and down Manhattan around about 11 o'clock at night, you see bread on the sidewalk. Am I right, Daniel Allah? If you around Midtown Manhattan, put the manger, all these people, they put it on the sidewalk. So if the person wanted, they eat at their own discretion. You understand where I'm coming from? But to answer your question, you know, listen, we are just tribal people. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's easy to be a part of a brotherhood no matter what religion you are. Now, with me, I'm coming from a view of this. I don't have to bang on the Bible no more, because I've done that and it don't get you nowhere. I don't have to bang on the Quran because I've done that and it doesn't get you anywhere. But what I do want to show people is the power of finances and the power of understanding wealth, because we have no wealth. Most Black families die, they can't even bury their mom and dad. You know, I was lucky. I was super lucky and fortunate to have 2 working parents and a nuclear family. That does not really exist, right? And people are more into their deities than understanding that we have to invest in the here now instead of the afterlife, because the afterlife we don't know until you go. Now that's a fact. Everything else is faith. You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, I mean, listen, you have so many different opinions on Africa, right? Like, how do we know we from Africa? Blah, 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 blah. Now you got the Aboriginals. Now you have this one and that one. The bottom line is none of that is getting us out of the predicament we in as far as being a permanent underclass. And that's just a fact.
No, it ain't. And let me say this, bro, because I ain't got that much time. You know, I appreciate you coming on. And as a matter of fact, maybe you could come on over to my channel, or you could, Daniel Allah probably invite you back to Maccabees TV. It's a good platform.
Listen, Daniel Allah, we got to work out, bro. Anytime.
Yeah, and maybe you could come on over to Hebrews in the Hood. That's with a Z after Hebrew, not an S.
I see it on your joint. I see it on your icon.
Yeah, and we can chop it up on that level, because so this is not this already doesn't apply to you, because you are genuine, and that's something that, see, I'm versatile like that because I'm a community the activists first. You
Right,
feel me?
right. We
You
brothers
know what I'm
first.
saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm anti-gang violence activist. You know what
Man,
I'm
that's
saying?
beautiful.
Another community center soon with the blessings of the Most High, if that's His will, right? And so that's my thing first. So my thing is when I use the scriptures, make them practical. You know what I'm saying? I make them tangible. It's not about me beating you up about my belief.
Right.
Like if I didn't tell you it came from the Bible, a lot of people wouldn't even know.
Right.
You know, it's when I get dogmatic and I say scripture and verse. You feel me? Because I'm trained like that. But my whole thing is, you know, I asked cats like, I ain't gonna even name them no more, but the cat from House of Consciousness, I asked them about 6-7 years ago, I believe it was, can they find me one ancient African atheist civilization? They never could, and I'm not talking about just the word atheos against Greek God or something like that. I'm talking about that had no type of spiritual system.
Right.
You're not gonna find it. That's a European birth defect, in my opinion. And that's not anything about them. That's just something you just start seeing this rise of black atheism. Look, you don't have to believe in the Abrahamic faith to have enough sense or you know to say that there's a spiritual realm or even something that you don't understand and you respect that. You see what I'm saying? I'm not that pompous or tight to not understand that there's things outside of the realm of those that believe in the Abrahamic traditions. You feel me?
Right.
So that's not even a problem. But I'm still waiting on somebody to show me an ancient, quote unquote, African or Afro-Asiatic or black civilization that absolutely thought it was nothing on the other side.
Right. Well, I would say this
for another 100 years.
Not to cut you off. I am a proud card-carrying member of the atheist mindset. Now, let me explain why. At the end of the day, I looked at things from when I used to be a staunch Christian. And I'm one of the few Christians, because, you know, 90% of Christians never read the Bible. That's why they can go to a church and listen listen to the same recited loop, which is, he hears you, he's coming, he knows your pain, he hears you, he's coming. You understand? And once again, what you have to understand is the hierarchy that any religion gives to people, because what happens is their leader looks successful, he looks clean, he's landing on church in a helicopter. You understand where I'm coming from? Then it's like, well, if God could do it for him, he could do it for me. And then one of my favorite scenes of one of my favorite movies, Car Wash, remember Daddy Rich, and the guy was shining his shoes and Richard Pryor was Daddy Rich, and Richard Pryor said, y'all got to believe in something. Y'all might as well believe in me. You heard what the guy said, handsome Lord, because the mindset. See, me, I stopped looking at things from what's outside of me rather than looking what's within me, because logically, this is just from me, brothers. Logically, I cannot get out of a 34th Street subway and look at a woman my mama's age living in a shopping cart and think there's somebody that out there from beyond this realm that loves me. Because when I go everywhere around the world, I notice, one, America is totally, honestly, America's in total decline, which people don't understand because they haven't really left America. But if you go to Amsterdam, if you go to Paris, matter of fact, there's a study that shows the poverty over there is way better than our poverty over here. Like, think about it. In Laos, Cali, Alabama, we got black people with hookworms, bro. 18th hookworms. But what I'm telling you is that when you go around the world, when you go to Hong Kong, you go to, and you see how these people just live life. They don't live with a spirit, with a God type shackles on them, because to me, it's just quality of life. You go all over Italy, I don't care what chapel or in Italian padrinos and basilicas, all of them people, those is works of art to them. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give you an olive branch. Some of them joints do have black popes inside of it, which a lot of people don't know, right? But at the end of the day, all these other places are just living in this life, and it's a little bit more balanced. They use, like you say, the practical laws. I don't need to read the Bible another day in my life. I don't need to read the Quran, any of these books that I done mastered and read. I don't have to read it no more.
All right, but can I say something, brother?
But hold on 1 second, and I'm gonna let you rock. But the thing is with me, brothers, is that I wake up every day and I don't have to look at nobody to know not to sleep with Danya Allah's wife, not to sleep with Mikael's wife. I don't need, look, there's videos on my Facebook of me in Manhattan feeding the less, I hate to call them homeless, because if we didn't have a roof, we're still, you know what I'm saying? But I call them displaced, feeding them with my own money. You understand where I'm coming from? And I don't need no books, no hadiths, no Bibles, no Pentateuch, no Torah, no Talmud to know what's right and wrong within my soul, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we black first. And if I'm in Chicago and if I saw you, like, bro, you hungry? You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Okay, with that being said, and I thank you, brother. That's kind of the point that I was making. You know, I believe you're sincere, and there's a lot of people in the world who don't need a book to tell them that.
Facts.
But obviously, from the conditions we in, it's people in this world that need to be told it. Or some people are just wicked. Some people just wicked anyway, and it don't matter if they follow the system or not. They still gonna do what they want to do.
True.
See what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, just because you may not need it, and this really ain't talking about you. This is general. Just because you may not need it, don't mean that you got to take it away from somebody who enjoys having it. Now, that's one thing if they're being oppressed with it, like you have to believe this or else. That's the term shackles of religion. And another thing I would like to address, where you made a good point, was that people don't travel the world. Like I got my passport. You know how many people in our community ain't never seen a passport?
Not to cut you off, the name of my brand is called Passport Global.
See what I'm saying? A lot of these cats that's doing all this talking ain't never been out their mama basement.
Facts.
Let alone to another state, let alone to another country. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the mindset that we have, regardless of our ideology. We feel trapped. But I'm saying, last time I checked, as bottom of the barrel as we are over here in the Western Hemisphere, just speaking for us, I still consider, now this is what the consensus says, I say everybody say that, I don't know how true it is that we're the 8th richest nation in the world.
That has kind of been deep.
I always found that kind of strange, because sometimes people say that to almost try to downplay the condition we in, when in reality, over here in this country, we shouldn't be at the bottom of no type of economic structure, because we spend more money than anybody else. So that's the crazy anomaly you got right there, because it's like they poor as hell, yet they get money. We don't know where they get it from, but they give it back to us the minute they get it. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's two things. I'm gonna use okay. You remember the movie Fences? You remember that movie Fences?
Yeah, I remember Fences.
All right. So you remember when the son says, "I want a new television," and Denzel says, "Would you rather have a roof or a television?" Right. But now let's fast forward to 2018. Durable goods like a roof we can't afford. So what do we have to end up getting? The television. You understand where I'm coming from? Because of the disparity now of the wealth gap. Number two, like I always tell people, read Color of Law, read Color of Money, and then you will see why we're exactly where we're at, because it was literally government. This is why I have a lot of arguments with a lot of the YouTube scholars about politics, because if you tell me to read Color of Law, and then I read Color of Law, and it gives me a point-by-point breakdown on how the government actually shut us out after the so-called Lyndon Baines Johnson affirmative action movement, and how FHA loans and redlining was totally used to keep us in the ghettos. You understand where I'm coming from? Even to and you know, by being from Chicago, right? The most famous city project in the world, the Cabrini Green. But to think about it, we noticed, and it's been said a million times, it's called what? A project, because that's what it literally became. You understand? It wasn't even called at that time low-income housing. It was just called the projects, because they knew eventually it would tear us to shreds, because I'm gonna put all these people in one. How big was Cabrini Green? It was like a 4 mile radius, right? Something like that. It was huge, correct? Y'all hear me?
Yes, it probably was about, I'll give or take up in that ballpark, because the biggest was like the Cabrini Greens, Robert Taylor,
yep,
of that nature. Yeah, they were the biggest high rises actually in America.
Right. So you put all of us, all of our demographic in that place, and then what they sold. Now, mind you, after the 70s, what they started doing with that, then they started slowly peeling back all of the community centers that was surrounded by Cabrini Green. Remember, y'all had a certain amount of schools that orbited. Then they shut them down, and then everything slowly got peeled back due to Reaganomics, and then it became like one of the places where a cop wouldn't even go into. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at the systemic plans that have been put into place to drive us into utter poverty. That's why I say God is good and money is better. Why? Because I'm gonna say, okay, you got God, cool, but I know more people with God than money. And the only way out, in my opinion, you know, I respect everybody, and the only way I feel that we're gonna get out, because I can't write Sprint, I can't write Con Edison and say God loves me, and because of these laws we're gonna win. They're gonna be like, nigga, your power is off tomorrow. You understand? And the one thing I learned from being around all of these demographics, I ain't gonna call them because, you know, we on YouTube, we know who run it. By being around all these rich demographics, they use their religions as a mask for their business. You understand where I'm coming from? And that's why in the Bronx, right? How do they own all those tenements and all the in the 80s, right? And then they burned it down themselves. These people who claim they go, their Sabbath is Saturday, and they go and they read the Torah, and we don't turn the power on, then all the booby. Like, but these people are truly like raping us. And they did, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I say to us, one black person to another, if we don't get to this paper, we in trouble. And they making it more and more difficult through machination, right? One of the worst things that happened is Uber, because Uber took out your actually working rights, right? They can turn you off any day. Lyft, all these gig economy jobs and all this stuff that's like diminishing what made the black male and black mother nuclear home actually viable, because you didn't need a $80,000 college degree to make $60,000 a year. Now, a woman who graduates fresh out of college is actually in more debt than a black woman who got a high school diploma. A white man who dropped out of high school is worth more than a black man with his MBA. That's why we not winning. That's it. That's all I want to say. I know you got moves to make, man. But thanks, Danya Allah, and everybody. And I'm gonna stay on and just kick it with y'all. But whatever y'all want to say, I'm all ears, man. I'm humbled again to be a part of this.
Unmute your mic, Danya.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, brother. I'm gonna allow you to say some final words momentarily, but I know Mikhail got to go. So, Mikhail, let me see.
I can't hear you. You went out. Your sound. Can't hear you.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. So Mikhail, it's 11:51 your time. So I want you to go ahead and close out, and then afterwards I'll allow Brother Andre to close out as well. Somebody else wanted to come up in here, but they couldn't get in. They had a question, so we'll get to them next time. There's going to be many more shows like this, but Mikhail, go ahead and close out.
Yeah. And on that note, we actually are already thinking about we already got something to do a part 2 on this. So I'll be right back. You know, one of these days, probably this week, he'll pick it when it's convenient for him. I will be having a debate on the 5th. That's Wednesday night on Solar Vision Debate League. I'm debating a brother. Now this is the fun side. Kind of not gonna go good behind what Brother Andre just said, but it's somewhat of a, I wouldn't even call it a theological debate. It's a societal debate, and it's against a brother named Bilal Ali. And we're gonna be talking about what's better for our society, the principles that's in the Torah or in the Quran. So I think that's gonna be pretty good for y'all to check out, because I believe it'll be edifying. It won't just be slinging religions back and forth, but actually taking out the parts of it that's like legislative or whatever. And I want to also make a statement again, not to lose focus of why we did this. My whole reason for responding is because I hear people say stuff all the time and I don't respond because we doing the work. Also check out our small documentary video we did called From Assyria to West Africa, where we go into the history, archaeology, and all of those things, proven from the ancient Assyrian captivity and the migrational periods of the lost tribes of Israel, how they got to West Africa, and subsequently how some of us came to America later on after that, right? How a lot of us did, as a matter of fact. And so I also like to bring up, I like to let some of the sisters know in the Hebrew community. It's a YouTube channel called Sister for Sisters, and it's spelled sister SISTAH number 4 sisters with an S at the end. Check that out. That's for the sisters, man, to get on there and break bread. And also I will be making my Walls of Jericho YouTube channel pretty soon. I got the Walls of Jericho Have Fallen Facebook group. So if you on there, you can try to ask me to add you, and I add you on that. And I just want to say this, and pardon, right? When you look over there, one of my reasons I was talking to making a message to Sinetta, because I mean the brother just jumped out the building on me. He got in his feelings, and I understood why. Because anybody that know me know I'm a thoroughbred cat, and I care about my people first. So after you just start seeing stuff over and over and over again, I mean, I listened to Connie Son because of Sinetta. He put me up on that brother Connie Son out of you know, you heard him out of Ohio.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, that cat is tight, right? But I just can't sit back and just see somebody just basically just drop all their self-respect, man. And it's obvious in front of everybody. And if you look over there, you start to see why people like Seti, Young Pharaoh, and Shaka and all them is left. And I'm not hyping none of them up. But at the same time, like the only one I see left over there, I can't say only one, but the one that's promoted the most, who truly seems to believe in what he's saying. And I do mean believe, because everybody believes in something. You know what I'm saying? Even if you talk evolution and all that, you ain't really got the proof you saying you got, but you believe it's more proof. And y'all need to check out something called scientism. Not Scientology, scientism. It will blow y'all mind on the agenda that's going on. And unfortunately, it's jumped into the black community. And I truly believe it got something to do with the rise of the Hebrew Israelite movement. The last one left over there is Jabari. So it's only a matter of time before he leaves. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of things we can just see. You see what I'm saying? And they come to pass because people are not changing their behavior. It's only going in decline. And so, like I said, I better not see, which I know we gonna see it. You know it's coming, Dayala. Either tomorrow morning or tonight, them over there in Stagger Squad is gonna be making a video crying about this. You know what I'm saying? And I already know what they're gonna do. They're gonna make a video crying about this, but the chump had all day to get on here. And like this brother Andre got on here, he stood his guns. He believed, he gave us the premise on why he say economics basically over God or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And it ain't no mud slinging, it ain't no nigga talk on here, nothing like that. He don't hire the man onions to do that. He just like to go on there and act like he all this and all that. But if shown that the brother don't have no principle to stand on, is he into Vodun? Is he into what's the other one, man? Eurisha?
Yeah.
Ephah, and any of that. I mean, because you got cats just got through celebrating Thanksgiving. The cat said he had just ate a black Jamaican pie and all that. And he like, man, you know, that's my family. You know, I went over there to eat. That's like me saying, I'm not gay, but I just went to this gay club because some of my people was there. Come on, man. They phony with that kind of stuff. So like I'm saying, man, we gonna do this again. The part 2 is gonna be more with bringing the scholastic stuff to show them why they can't stand with us, so they hate.
Absolutely, Mikhail. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time out your schedule to come on the show this morning. I know we were supposed to do it yesterday, but it didn't work out that way. But I appreciate you coming on and you know, giving the people your time and your perspective. And we're definitely going to do a part 2 for sure. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, brother, you know, whenever you're ready to hop off, you can go ahead and hop off. I'm going to give the brother Andre a chance to close out. And I do have a question for him, not really related to the conversation, but since he's into the whole economic thing, I just want his opinion on something real quick before we go. So I'm gonna let him rock out a little bit. And brother, whenever you have to jump off, just call me later, and we'll try to set something else up, King. All right?
Yeah, man. Shalom to the whole house of Israel. Everybody watching. Check out Hebrews in the Hood channel. And with that,
please.
peace.
Please, yeah, family, make sure Y'all subscribe. Now I see the brother done came on, and you about to be out of here. Yisha Moore, is that you?
Yeah, it's me, King. Peace. Shalom.
All right, now this guy got like 2 minutes. Mikhail got 2 minutes. Oh, he hopped off because he had to go. He said he had to go off at 12 o'clock. I don't know if you wanted to ask me a question. Maybe you wanted to ask him directly.
Oh no. The question actually wasn't for the Mikhail. I actually just wanted to make a statement just based off of the topic of the conversation about economics right now, and I just wanted to point out the fact that Torah actually teaches economics, and that there are many Israelites who focus on economics, and I just wanted to make the statement that if we go and practice economics and nepotism amongst ourselves and within the community, which I'm all for and I agree with 100%, there has to still be some code of ethics that we follow. But although certain principles should be ingrained in us morally, all of us don't have certain moral standards. So for somebody who doesn't have a source to pull from when it comes to ethics, they might begin to practice bad economic practices amongst ourselves. And then there has to be some type of punishment for those individuals. So I just wanted to...
That's a great question. So we have the brother Andre on here. So let's see what he has to say about that. So
all right.
Andre,
peace to you, bro. What's your name again, Sam?
Yeshua.
Yeshua?
Yeshua.
All right. Yes. I'm gonna make sure I do.
Yesha. Yeshua.
Yeshua. Oh, my bad. So Yeshua. Peace, bro. Peace,
yeah.
gang.
Peace.
So, I said that when I first started. I said the first 5 books of Moses, right? The Pentateuch, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is called, right, has economics, right? And I've learned this from the other demographic. I'm gonna just say other demographic. Now, but I also know the Quran has it, and I also know the Bhagavad Gita has it. But guess what? When you go to India, they some jacked up people. They shave their children's hair to make money. You understand where I'm coming from? But they do it in a different manner of disrespect. They're like I said this before. A lot of other demographics use their religion and these morals and laws to actually mask their business practices. You understand what I'm saying? For example, who owns the media? The same people that will tell you said something anti-Semitic. How can it be anti-Semitic when you allowed me to say it through your media? Understand that? You feel where I'm coming from? So
yeah, I feel you.
What I'm saying is this, and I'll keep saying it, right? I used to bang on the Bible and all these books, not just the Bible, because I know all of it is it, but I also know that the reason why all of these books do have these laws is because all of these people at that time had to find ways of survival and how to increase their population in each of these places, right? And there's a way of them to build a nation. What I'm saying is, okay, I don't need any books to tell me not to screw Yeshua over. If Yeshua say, Dre, I ain't messing with that God is good shirt, but you got some fly stuff. All right, bro. Cash App or PayPal. Guess what? Within 5 minutes, you're going to see the delivery notice that Andre mailed out your product. You know why? Because everything in this world, even the God you serve, is business. I guarantee that. But like I said, for me, you know what I learned, bro? I go to the gym every day. So in my gym in Williamsburg, I go to Retro Danya Allah in Williamsburg on North 3rd. Okay. Now, you got the other demographic that y'all call the so-called you-know-whats, they're in there with their actual garbs on working out with me, right? But you know what I noticed, though? Because I cracked a few of their butts about their book, but I thought about something. I'm not going to violate my brother or whoever on their belief system when we could be getting some money. Because guess what? After I crack them on their book and on their lineage, they go home to a marble floor, brownstone, and Park Slope. And where I'm going home to. You know what I'm saying? I understand that everyone else are winning. And if that's why, if you look at politics, right, none of our politicians talk to us. You got a black woman, right? I forgot her name, Knowles or something, out of Alabama, who was talking about DACA, which is taking away your job as a as a black man while her people got hookworms in their backyard. But you tell me about DACA. You understand where I'm coming from? We don't have an understanding of our tribe and our lineage. That's why I don't need I told Sanetta, that's why I say we have this show. I'm a crack tail because I'm like right now, I'm even holding myself back because listen, I'm on your platform and I gotta respect. Before you are an Israelite, you are my lineage, you are my blood, man. You are my black man that goes through the same thing I gotta go through on a daily basis, man. And it's hard. So we don't need to be, I don't need to violate you. And now if you come to me and crack me on, I'm gonna crack you back. But as far as economics and brotherhood, the only way we survive is understanding that. Because look, everything about us, right? Everything about us, right, that we're going through right now is actually revealed in a lot of our blaxploitation movies, right? Like look at Claudine. Claudine, if you're from Chicago, like my man was, like Mikael, Claudine was what? The introduction of them breaking up the nuclear home. Because like, all right, we gave y'all integration. We gave you a little bit of affirmative action. But now, guess what? You have a man in your house, we not give you no welfare, woman. You have any type, you couldn't even have men's shoes in your house. If you didn't have a boy, he could not wear the same size of an adult man's shoes, and they would stop them all. So what was women doing? Having more and more kids and more kids. And then they was getting all these checks. And then what did Bill Clinton era do? Clinton era came in and said, they called them what? The welfare queens. Remember, he insulted our black sisters and said, oh, these are the welfare queens. Not even talking about how they created the dynamic for them to even be labeled that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look at, you know what's one of the dopest movies? Is Dead Presidents. Let me tell you why Dead Presidents is the dopest movie. They gave it this whole narrative, right? Of the Vietnam War, and you come home to no job, and blah, 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 right? But you know what that movie was really about? What did they rob at the end of the movie? An armored car. You remember when they were sitting at the table before, when they was planning on it, they said, yo, these dudes burning money. But if you look at when the Spanish dude got hit by that cop car, when the money went in the air, it said US dollar. If you go in your pocket right now, what does it say? Federal Reserve note, right? That movie was talking about them burning the actual US dollar and ushering in the Federal Reserve now, which runs our economics and our banking system. Why did John F. Kennedy get killed, right? For Executive Order 0.001, right? Which was going to bring back the US dollar. Right now, if you in your house and your mama's house or somebody like your grandmother and you find a chest full of money that still says US Treasury, you know that dollar's worth more than the actual reserve note you got in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my point.
All right, so
Yeah,
appreciate it. Oh, and shout outs to you, Daniela. I appreciate you allowing me to speak, bro. So you said one thing you said to me was, if I don't rock with the money over God's shirt and I decide to buy the shirt, so on and so forth.
Right.
You're gonna make sure once I send that money to that Cash App, the business, everything goes smoothly, I get the shirt, right?
Goddamn right.
Right. So, but that's you though, family. And what I'm trying, and what I'm saying is, like, we've seen bad practices take place within the community already, where people aren't receiving things that they're paying for, and different circumstances of a lot of stuff. I don't gotta say no names because we all know like the more popular situations. But what I'm saying is, one thing about the Israelite community that I think that should be that probably don't get the respect it probably even deserve is the fact that if those types of things were to happen within the Israelite community, there's something that holds them, everybody accountable for those types of actions. So if it was to happen within a community, the elders of the community can come together and dish out punishment according to the Torah. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
And so the I believe the video is titled "What's Better." What is it? To be exact, I don't know what it is exact, but it's
the title is he's basically saying what's better for your liberation: religion, atheism, economics, or the Bible.
Right. And so I do agree that economics is something though that has to be practiced. Like I teach it to my kids. You know what I mean? Like on top of Torah and the code of ethics and giving them history and all that, I definitely believe economics should be right at the top with all those things. You understand what I'm saying? I don't necessarily place one above the other, actually. But I do think like I said, for some of us, it's not necessary to have a book. You know what I mean? Some of us don't need a book because it's just like common sense and there's universal laws that's ingrained inside of us. It's in your code, in your DNA to just know this is my brother and I'm not, you know what I mean? I should practice moral practices with my brother. You know what I mean? But there are those of us who don't have any code or anything to hold themselves accountable, and because of it, that leaves them with the autonomy to do whatever they want to do, and feel like they don't have to answer to anybody, and because of it, we see a lot of bad practices, and that's just the only point I was trying to make.
No, I agree with you. I'm my only, and I totally listen. I totally agree with all of y'all. I would say this though, right? Do you see why? Like I told Sarnetta when he interviewed me about 3 weeks ago, I said, Sarnetta, if we had finances and resources, right? Would we look? If me and you were walking down the street, right? Let me show you my point, and you're gonna understand exactly what I'm saying. You feel me?
Okay.
I said, remember, I always said, I don't need these books. I don't need none of this stuff, right? But I also said I was fortunate to have the nuclear home of a mom and dad who didn't use drugs, who didn't drink. My mom went to work. My dad went to work. I seen them, you know what I'm saying? And they took me to church, they took me to church, blah, blah, blah. But this is my point. If me and you, okay, not me and you, because Danielle is in New York. So let's say me and Danielle is working out every day.
I'm here too. I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn. All right, perfect. Yeah. So you know where Retro in Williamsburg.
Williamsburg, yeah.
Let's say me and you was at Retro, right? Every day, right? And then every day either I gave you something to eat or you gave me something to eat, right? But let's say we both fell on super hard times, right? And we ain't eat in 2 weeks. And somebody at Retro put one slice of pizza on that goddamn table. We might bump our heads trying to get to that slice, right? Because with lack of resources is what makes us like animals. You understand? It brings out your animalistic. This was where the term survivor mode come from, right? Even like, remember the show Survivor? It's like, how do you make, you know what's crazy, bro? When I first went to college, right? No, when I was in high school, the definition of economics when I was in high school in 1999 was called how money and resources are created and distributed amongst a landmass and the people in it. When I got to a certain degree in college, the definition of economics was like, how do a group of people deal with scarce resources? Right. Do you understand what they already conveyed into your mind? They're basically saying survival, bro. It went from how money is created and distributed amongst a group of people to where, how do a group of people deal with scarce resources? That don't even sound right. And this is why I say, when you have nothing, it's easier to turn to Yahweh. No offense, but it's easier to turn to Yahweh, Allah, Jesus, anyone that provides a certain amount of hope and structure to your everyday life when you can't depend on. Look, I work out with two dudes that are rich, right? White dude who's a president of a bank, the other dude who's one of the top heads at NASDAQ, right? Both of them left those jobs, but about 6 months ago, we in the gym. And my man Byron crying on my shoulder, oh, Andre, Chase is going to get rid of me. Because he had implemented the system that you're seeing now in these banks where everything is automated. He was one of the dudes that actually created it. Then he said, oh, what I'm going to do, my house is $500,000 in Fairlawn and my daughter's about to go to University of Alabama. You know what I said to him? I said, Byron, you're white. That's why. And I said, you know what's, Byron, 2 weeks, we're going to meet at Retro. You're going to still be white, and you're going to have a job. And guess what he's at now? He's president of Wells Fargo, traveling every 2 days. See, they don't even understand this stuff. Matter of fact, this is going to hit right at home. by me being a designer, sometimes I can't go back and forth to Hong Kong, right? Especially because my father recently passed a year ago, and I was changing his diaper, feeding him every day. But
condolences, bro.
man, I appreciate it. But right, so I had bought an embroidery machine for so when I can't make certain timelines with the factories, boom, I know I got a certain amount of product, right? You know what my man Mark said? He said, well, he looked at Byron, our friend got an embroidery machine. Do you want to lease his? I said, Mark, I just bought one. Yeah, but maybe, I said, Mark, see, I told him, I took him to the side, I said, Mark, I understand. That's wealth. That's how wealth thinks.
Right.
I'm not going to let this black man own his own machine. You know what I'm saying? And,
right.
and it's like it's just the dynamics of it. And like I said, it took me to get rid of a lot of things to even step forward and understand the big picture. See, we could talk about certain people. I on one hand, I don't think Garfield is a scammer at all. I think now, do I think he becomes I don't want to say arrogant. I think because I used to be like that, because I know all that stuff. All that stuff people propagate, I know. I keep to myself now because I'd rather build some bread with us than separate us. But the one thing I'll say is that sometimes we forget that, I have this saying, all that I know is all that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I know some stuff? I could pull out my phone and show people stuff that would kind of dismantle anyone's religion. But it don't matter because we still broke. And until we get to some paper, and listen, you live in Brooklyn, bro. You seen what happened. Let's rewind. 2006, the cost of living in New York was not that bad, right? Now you got people who can't even live in East New York. They can't even live in the Ville.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Look at Harlem. Before the Clintons moved to Harlem, those brownstones were $5,000. And us not being understanding money and wealth, right? During the tech boom of the Clinton era and slightly post, we could have bought Harlem. Harlem right now looks like Babylon 5, bro. And it's crazy because it's almost like when you're walking up and down the street of Harlem, it's like you watching a high definition TV and a black and white TV at the same time. Obviously, we the ones that's in black and white because you see the white people walk up down the street with a dog and they're laughing, and then you see women our mama age just looking like, how are we gonna make it to the night? You know what I'm saying? It's right in front of your face. It's really right in front of your face, bro. And it's like,
indeed,
and that's why I'm. No one listen, like you say, that argument really can't. That's why I did the shirt, because what happened was, and the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. I did this crew neck that said the rich shall inherit the earth. And when it sold out in all the stores nationwide, I said, I'm gonna hit these niggas with God is good. And listen, I've had every demographic, people of religion, people of non-religion, they came to me and said, you're right. But I respect everybody's POV. I respect everyone's POV. But how can I help Daniela get his hat business off the ground? How can I help you, Yusef, do what you want to do, and vice versa? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm all for that again. Like I said,
Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I don't disagree with none of the points you made as far as practicing economics. I'm with it. As a matter of fact, I'm interested in practicing economics with you. I hear you telling about the shirts. I'm unfamiliar with the shirts. I was until this conversation. So I definitely want to check out your stuff. But again, though, like I said, my point is just there are a lot of good practices that come from that Torah that could liberate the people, and even to refer back to your analogy of if we was working out and somebody left one slice of pizza after we've been starving for 2 weeks.
Right.
See, because of the foundation that I stand on, I would split the slice with you. So
let me ask. So you think with your mind, if you haven't ate, because this is what I always say, if we did eat, I would split the slice with you, right?
Right, and I believe you.
Right. But in 2-3 weeks, and you are starving, you understand where I'm coming from? It's hard, bro. Because I don't think
I ain't never saying it's easy. I ain't gonna say it's easy. And before I even came to be the person I am now, I'm still young. I'm just 30, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fresh off of being out in the streets thugging. You know what I'm saying?
So you know the mentality.
Right. I definitely know the mentality. And what I'm saying is, now that you know, I always had certain principles, but I probably didn't practice them as consistently as I should, right? And now that I do have, or I base my foundation in Torah now, like I said, it's something that holds me accountable a little more than I would have held myself accountable in times past.
Right.
And like one thing, like for example, one thing that Torah has is a gleaning principle. I don't know if you're
Right.
familiar with gleaning, but
I'm definitely
I mean, yeah, you are, because you actually mentioned something about like a situation that is an example of gleaning of, like if you got a harvest and my fruit falls from the tree, I can go pick the fruits off the tree, but the stuff that fall and touch the ground, I gotta leave it for the needy to come and pick up and eat from. I'm not allowed to take that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just one of the many examples and principles of not just economics, but brotherly love too. You know what I'm saying? That the Torah teaches, and that was just my point, because we was just saying what the topic was, what's best for our liberation. So I'm gonna always have to bring out those and highlight those things about the Torah, because it's what helped liberate me. So that's all. That's why I stand.
Man,
Hey,
listen.
let me
If it makes you a better man, to anyone in the chat, or whatever it makes you a better man, I'm all for. You feel me? I'm just not for being broke.
All right,
Yeah.
let me jump in real quick. Two things. Number one, I want to say on record, I've already said it, I'll say on record again, I have never ever accused Garfield of being a scammer. I don't believe that he's a scammer. I believe for the most part he does good business, I should say. And sometimes things fall through the cracks, and things have may fall through the cracks for him, with certain things, and people are using that to say he's a scammer. I don't necessarily believe he's a scammer. Now, when it comes to his information, that's why I'm about to crack him over the head with the information. Something way different than me. I don't believe he's a scammer. So I have a question for you, brother Andre, while you're on.
Yes, sir.
I did a show a couple of months ago, and I was asking the people in this day and time, right? We as Black people, we're trying. We call ourselves trying to build our community, build a nation, right?
Right.
You need a lot of different talents and things to build a nation. You need people that can do architecture, construction. You need doctors. You need lawyers. You need everything. You know what I'm saying? People that are good with plumbing, and people that are good with electricians. You need midwives. You need nurses. You need everything. So here's my question to you. When I was coming up as a child, because I'm older than you, and I might be older than Yisha more too, I'm not sure. But when I was coming up in high school, if you wasn't interested in going into college, they had trades there. You could take carpentry in high school when I was coming up. You could take automotive in high school when I was coming up, so forth and so on. They've taken those things out of schools now, obviously with all the budget cuts and everything.
Yeah.
In our community in this day and time, which do you think is more efficient? I know it's on an individual by individual basis, but what do you think is more efficient? Do you think it's more efficient sending our children to these 4-year colleges to go and get degrees, and when they come out of school, they're already like $20,000 in debt and up? Or do you think it's more efficient to send our children to learn trades, try to find out what they're interested in from young and send them to learn a trade? Because right now, what I'm seeing college educated people not working in their fields, that's picking up trades and going and learning trades, because whatever they went to school for 4 years, they're not hiring. So
you are absolutely right.
Go ahead.
It's basically right now, as Black people, when you're in school, it's indentured servitude, unless you get what we call working degrees. Working degrees is teacher, doctor, which is astronomically expensive, and certain anything that requires what this. Because the United States now is not a manufacturing economy; it's called a service economy, and that's one of the worst words you could use, right? Because that means nothing but retail, food service, outside of medical,
right?
And automotive. What is the service economy? But like you said, I went to a technical high school too, where I'm from in Jersey initially, and I took up metal manufacturing or machine shop. And I remember my teacher said to me, he said, "Bro, you're gonna be the smartest metal worker that's going to be in fashion." And I was like, you're right. But for most people, yes, it isn't. Okay, like Daniel Allah, right now they passed a thing where now New York State citizens can get a 4-year degree free. You know what I'm saying? which is the most powerful thing. But another reason why I show why wealth is more important, in my opinion, wealth, is because look what NYU just did. These dudes are now allowing anyone who's accepted into their medical school free of charge. Do you know how expensive medical school is? But they know how many black kids can get past the other prerequisites to get to medical school. You understand where I'm coming from? So I went to the I went to FIT on 28th and 7th, which was a very inexpensive school for me, and it allowed me to develop myself on the business side of things. But if we don't practice, because think about it, if you own a home, you got to know electricity now. You got to know plumbing. You got to know roofing. Why? Because all this stuff, like I said on the movie Fences, is super expensive now. And this is why we have to, because the Spanish demographic knows all of these things, and they do it for each other at a rational price, and they do it for everybody else, and they knock you over the head. It's none of us. You see us going with the hard hats on doing construction. You see the Irish people doing construction. You know what I'm saying? We have been shut out of all of these things, and this is why it is paramount and tantamount and just like imperative that, like you said, that we get what we call common sense trades or common sense working degrees, because the way student loans is set up, you will never even get to enjoy your degree, because 80% of new hires is nepotism. So then you can't get the job, and then like you get the job, you grossly underpaid because of mechanization and because people are so silly that they would rather go to Amazon than actually go to the store. I say to people all the time, 10 years ago, you would go to the store. Like you can't go now. They don't understand. Every time you order from Amazon, you're putting 5 people out of work. You know what I'm saying? Every time, listen, we all the victims of it, but Netflix, right? When I'm in Europe, Netflix can only show 20% of the content that we show over here. When I'm in Hong Kong, Netflix shows only 5%. Why? Because if you live in Europe, every Europe has what? A town square. You got to take public transportation to the town square. You go to the movie theater, you're probably going to get something to eat, take public transportation back home. What's that called? Cash flow. Something that we have forgotten. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, on the Hebrews, y'all Sabbath is Saturday. Y'all do y'all thing on Saturday and do certain things, right? So y'all need to do, like, maybe instead of say F lift, we gonna get a van. We all gonna go. If we gonna do camp on the side, like, we gonna get a van. We commuting together. We gonna get this bread up, because at the end of the day, we the ones that listen. In Los Angeles, this is what I told Sarnetta. A lot of people don't know this. Black men only make, because think about it. You've never been to Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a huge county. It's not a city. It is a huge county. Within Los Angeles, you have Bel Air, Rosemead, Cerritos, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, North Hollywood, West Hollywood, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, Burbank, just to name a few, right? But think about it. Black men only make up 2% of the Los Angeles population. Do you know how much we make up of Skid Row? 60%. So when people start to learn what I'm talking about, then their eyes are gonna be open, and they're gonna understand, bro. They're gonna understand what happened. Like I forgot, because I was listening to our brother Mikael. But one of the worst things Obama did, the rise to the top. Why you think all those schools in Chicago closed? Same thing in Philadelphia. That was one of the worst policies in the world. And this is all under Obama. People got pictures of Obama next to their Jesus and the fork on the wall in their house. They silly. This man didn't even like black people. And that's a fact. There's some great books you can read. Obama, the Rising Star. Y'all would never look at him the same. And this is somebody who lived with, like, who really knew him. Like, broke that shit down. You know what I'm saying? He was not, listen, he inherited $500,000 from his grandmother. What did he know about being broke? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Chicago was a choice for him. He was first of all, he was a legacy student. That's how he got into Harvard Law, because his father was there. Like, people don't understand what's going on, man. And that's why you said, like you said, bro, the trade and the common sense working degrees is what we need to survive. Because obviously we have no black people in the position of harvest. And as soon as a black person get money, like that joke I told Sarnetta, they tell you to get a job. They ain't gonna try to help you out. That's why I had to turn off. I stopped watching sports. I stopped watching celebrities, because none of these niggas is where we need them to be, giving us some bread, bro. I was in the Rockefeller camp. I was in this music thing. I know all these dudes, and none of them has done nothing for us, B. That's why I love Dame. They they made Dame look like he was crazy. Tell me that 444 album wasn't what Dame was saying in 2003. He said in 03. And now people singing 444 like Jay came up with it. No, that was Dame's talk. Now where Dame at? An outcast somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Right. All right, King. Well, listen, man, I'm about to have to shut it down and get out of here. So I want you to, you know what I'm saying, if you have any last words you want to say, and then Brother Yeshamor, I'll let you have the last words as well. So go ahead, Brother Andre.
I just want to say peace to all of y'all and everybody in the chat that's saying I'm going to hell and I'm a sinner. I love it. I love y'all anyway. You know, if y'all follow me at Patrick Passport 15, Patrick Passport 15. Listen, I'm not running from none of y'all, and this is and I told Daniela, I said I'm gonna be respectful, and Daniela can bear witness that I was respectful. And I'm not gonna argue the Bible unless someone argues the Bible with me. I'm gonna say we black first. Let's get some money first, and I love all of y'all. Listen, y'all fringes and anything you wearing, I see right under. I see a black man trying to make it in the wilderness of America, and that's it. And I love all of y'all, bro. Period.
That's what it do, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on and taking time out your day to come and holler at us. We definitely gonna do this again and have you back on, man. And we can definitely get into some more conversations about economics because it is important. You have a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of things that we know over on this side that you can teach us about economics, regardless of whether we have a doctrinal disagreement or not. So I appreciate you on that, King. Go ahead, Yeshamor. You can close it out.
No, I just want to say peace and shalom to the family. I appreciate the opportunity to speak again, Priest Daniela. To the brother Andre, I want to say peace to you, and I appreciate everything that you brought to the conversation today, bro. And I definitely look forward. Yeah, love back, bro. I love you too. I definitely look forward to building some more in the future with you, bro. So
yeah, and Daniela, email me, man. I want to work out with you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You got it, King. You got it. I got your email, so we're gonna get that in for sure.
Yeah. All right, bro.
Shalom, family.
Shalom,
family. Yo, family, thank y'all for watching today, man. I'm about to be out of here. I appreciate all my guests coming on, and I'll be back real soon with some more content for y'all. I see. Oh, and one last thing. This is not related, but yo, Israel Doctrine, do me a favor, right? Nobody cares about nothing that you're saying. So let me just be real clear with you. Nobody cares about nothing you're saying. I don't come to your channel. I don't know nothing about your titles. You said that my title was similar to your title. I said to you, if that's the case, my bad. And here you are on my comment board talking shit. It's niggas like you, man. It's the fucking problem in Israel. But you talking about brothers need to come together. You acting like a nigga right now. I'm gonna tell you straight up and down. You're acting like a nigga right now. Now you go ahead and go make a 5-hour video on that. That's why I don't fuck with you, man. That's why. You talking about, well, if you don't mess with me, don't take my time. The reason why I don't fuck with you is because you do fuckery. Pardon my language, family, but I gotta keep it a buck. You do fuckery. You come on here, we're having a civil conversation. Instead of you adding on to the conversation, you come to take away and talk nonsense, man. You're the damn devil. You're a nigga. You're a nigga with a Bible, straight up and down. Now go make a 5-hour show on that. With that being said, family, I apologize, but I say shalom.